Hey guys, welcome back. Today we got another fake PC restoration video that we're going to take a look at. This one is from T&H Restoration Channel. Restoration Destroyed Desktop Trees. Rebuild and restore, whatever the hell that means. I've already seen this video, but I'm going to watch it again and we're going to go over it. Let's get through the intro here and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this video here and I'll just give you my thoughts through the video. Alright, and one thing that I noticed is typical, you always see like garbage everywhere. They always find stuff in big piles of garbage, and usually there's a fire burning next to it. So I guess the premise here is that he's going to find this muddy desktop here in a burning pile of garbage. So remember that it's supposed to be a burning pile of garbage. And he's taking a look to make sure all the parts are here. And of course he's going to load them up on a scooter to bring them home. Alright, take a good look at the application of mud on this thing. Alright, you can see, brush marks everywhere. So this thing's obviously been, painted with mud, basically. And there's a whole edge right here that has no mud on it. You see spots here where there's no mud. And if this thing was really this covered in mud, all these spots would have mud in it. Even this edge right here would have mud in it. And it's kind of funny that the whole thing is covered in mud, this part here, but the bottom, this is the bottom, you can see where the feet are. The bottom has no mud on it, so obviously what they did was they had this thing standing upright and just painted the whole thing with mud, and they forgot to paint the bottom of it. So I think that's pretty funny. And if you look at the case, the shape that this case is in, the big kinks and shit in it, there's no way that they're going to straighten this case out. I mean, take notice of the kinks in it and the, just the bent metal. The top of it, I think, is the worst. It's got the biggest crease in it. You can see it right here. When he flips it over, you'll see it's a huge crease in it. There's no way he's getting it out of there. He's going through gathering up his parts, attempting to somewhat straighten it now. And at least it keeps a clean workspace. So we got all the parts laid out to see. There's that big crease in the tower. And we're going to start working on the motherboard here. Now, being that I saw this already, I can point out a couple things. Alright, take a look at the socket. I know this part where I stopped is a little blurry, but take a look at the socket. The pins all look good on it, right? Keep that in mind. Remember that for later. And of course it goes right in the water, and we all know he doesn't have a water softener. I think it's a good assumption. The battery was left in it. And he's just going to dry it up real quick with a blow dryer. So now he's showing us a chip on here that was in pretty rough shape, and some capacitors that you can tell were damaged with pliers. And this is the part I love on these. They always do this multimeter check, and they're just probing random spots on there to make it look like they know what they're doing. And he really doesn't have a fucking clue what he's looking for. He's just touching different spots, and all for appearance, I guess he's desoldering some capacitors here. Yeah, you always scrape on your motherboard when you're desoldering. That's the most effective way. And look at the scorching on this motherboard here. I'll go back and take a look at that really quick here. There, look at the scorching that was done on this motherboard here. They know he's completely fucking clueless, and his motherboard is just absolute trash. And this chip, this is a chip that's supposedly, broken off. But I mean, look at the pads on here. The pads are completely fucking gone. but he's gonna solder it. All right, now let me jump back just a second here. Remember when he took that CPU out? The pins were all good on here. Now the pins are just fucking destroyed on this socket here. I mean, no attempt to even fix them. And you know, you can tell all his parts, which are, I notice are typical of these videos. They make it look like they've got a shipment of parts in. You know, they order new parts and they all come wrapped in fucking saran wrap. And he's gonna put the CPU in the socket with all the bent pins. And people buy this shit. I mean, you know, look, you got 1.3K thumbs up on this video. And he's gonna put the RAM in backwards. Oh, he caught that and flipped it around. And this thing is fucking pointless. I think at this point he's just taking it apart just to show us how bad this thing really is, because there's no fixing that. And he set it aside, that's a good thing. Now we're going to get into the power supply, which of course is everything inside there is coated with mud as well. Nice thick layer. Capacitor missing. Oh, look at the capacitors have me rolling around the side of there. Taped together connections. And everything goes right back in the blue bucket of water. Some randomly cut wires, and look at this shit right here. You can tell those are just cut. No attempt to even straighten them or nothing. He's just gonna fucking solder them back together with a nice bridge across there. And you can't have a restoration video without some sanding. Or some shit rattle can spray paint. So now he throws the hard drive in the water. And since I saw this, I would give you guys a heads up on here. Watch after he gets these screws out. He takes a big, like, rusty, I don't know if it's a knife or whatever the fuck it is, and he acts like he's trying to pry the lid open, but you can tell the thing's already loose because this thing has been opened up before, and you'll see why in a second here. Hope that wasn't a spoiler for you guys. See, the thing's loose as hell. And look on the inside, man. Look at this thing. It looks like somebody. Let me see if I can. Looks like somebody fucking puked in this thing. You know, if this thing was supposedly sealed, all they have is, I mean, they are mostly sealed. They have a little vent hole when it's got, you know, like a little piece of foam, you know, so shit don't get in there, but it can vent. And, you know, there's no way, you know, if this thing was thrown in the mud, that it would have all this, there's no way all this shit would be inside of here. I mean, this hard drive is ruined. And if it wasn't ruined before, it certainly is now. He's scrubbing on the fucking thing. But, you know, blow dryer, that'll fix it. And then we'll just make some random scratches on it with a fucking Q-tip. And look at that, we'll put it back together and everything's fine. Alright, look at his body work here. He's using a hammer and he's just beating on it. I mean, he's putting more dents in it than he's taking out. And now, miraculously, the case looks fine. I mean, right here is where there was that huge crease. There was no way beating on it with a hammer got it out. And look at the top of it. I mean, like I said, he left more dents in it with a hammer than he was taking out. So, I mean, this isn't the same case. Or it may be the same case. I'll give you guys my theory on that in a minute here. puts the optical drive in upside down. Even has to angle the screws to get them to reach. Fucking dipshit. Alright, this is that chip that was busted off that you could tell the pads were gone and he acted like he was soldering it on there. You can tell. Now I'm not going to say this isn't the same motherboard because I think this is the same motherboard. But like I said, we'll get to my theory here in a minute on what these guys do. But you can tell this is definitely not the repair that he was making on it. And well, this he also found the LCD with the LCD monitor with the same amount of mud on it and the same peculiar brush marks. All right, on the side here when he takes that off, here's the inside of the back panel, and you can see it's like evenly coated with mud. There's mud covering just about all of it, along with this metal shield right here covered with mud. Right, but look at the LCD panel. There's no mud on it at all. The circuit board on it right here, no mud at all on that thing. Not even connected here. Looks like these traces are just ripped right off. But watch when he takes this off here. Look at the underneath of this. Alright, look how evenly coated this is with mud, but yet none on here. And of course he's got to get this disassembled so he can throw it in a blue bucket of magic water. This fucking solder job. And of course the random fucking multimeter shit. Alright. I don't want to see him fucking around with this thing any longer here. Alright, let's go. Just jump ahead to here where he's sanding the whole front down. Sanding the base. Sanding the back. And everything gets the shit rattle can treatment. Now the reason I want to show you guys that we're sanding everything down is, oh look, he's got his LCD delivered, wrapped in saran wrap again. Alright, look at this. Remember he sanded this thing all down and supposedly rattle canned it, right? I mean, this is, you can tell this is the original plastic on here. This thing hasn't been painted at all, hasn't been sanded. When he painted it, I mean, he would have painted right over, you know, all the writing, all the lettering that's on here would have been painted over. So obviously that's bullshit too. And here we go, he's gonna get everything all hooked up and fired up. And of course it fucking works, so. And boots in the windows. His new, supposedly new LCD screen's got a big old fucking line in it. But the point is the computer works now. I mean, it was awesome restoration, right? He found this thing in a burning pile of fucking garbage covered in mud, and he repaired the whole thing, and now it works great. I think anybody with, any common sense would notice it's bullshit. Let's take a look at the comments on here quick. Fake. I mentioned the socket. Trying to find some good ones on here. I can't believe that the hard drive still works. Well, it doesn't. All right, most of the comments on here are negative, calling out to be fake. All right, but then you get these ones here. Amazing restoration. You made it look so easy, even though in reality it is extremely hard to restore such a neglected device like that. And then the question is why you use the river water to clean the structure of the CPU because it's unsanitary. I think he's talking about the case. Wow, incredible. What a beast. Alright, so most of the comments are just calling them out for being fake, but there's a few that are telling them, hey, nice job. 112 dislikes, but 1,300 likes, 41,000 views since February 16th. So, that's probably a lot of people just watching it and shaking their head in disbelief. But as you can see on the list here, I've got a lot of these fake restorations of different things that I want to go through. There was a laptop on here somewhere that I skimmed through, so I think that might make a good good next video as well. All right, so let me give you guys my theory. Ow. Let me give you guys my theory, and I think it's a pretty good one here. I think what happens is this is how the computer started out. When he gets a computer, the monitor had to line the screen and shit. But it's obviously I think it's the same case and everything. But this was how it started out when he got it or found it or whatever. And then he goes through, takes all apart and shows himself reassembling it, like he's reassembling all the parts that he washed and repaired. And then they go through and they just destroy the fucking thing, cover, paint mud on everything, as best as they can get it, and then go set it in a garbage pile next to a fire somewhere and make it look like they stumbled across it and that was how they found it. And well, I mean, it's obviously it's working for him. If you look at his uh, look at his channel here. I mean, he's got almost 7 million views on his channel. So, it's working for him. I just think it's silly that, they put this up and they call this, a restoration, rebuild and restore when it's totally not what it is. It's, it's complete fakery. But, anyways, it's fun to take a look at it and, rip it apart because obviously it's bullshit. And here he's showing off his channel. So I mean, we got more in here. You can see we've got we got more in here of his, but not sure where they're at here. I think this restoration and restore. I think it's the same person because if you look at this thumbnail right here, see that's the same computer that we just saw in this video here. And matter of fact, I think this is the one that we did in the last video. When he found it, it didn't look like this. So I think this restoration restore and this teenage restoration channel are the same because this thumbnail is the same computer from this video right here. I said I think the next one is going to be a laptop. Damaged Acer laptop, 5 years old, from restoration and restore. We'll take a look at that one next. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this video here, and I'll leave the link to the original video down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting trend that I'm seeing on YouTube now. I mean, there's a lot of really good restoration channels out there, that do a nice job restoring things, and they don't get, nearly the amount of views that these fake ones do. And I'm not sure how they managed to pull this off, but that's something to poke fun at. So, anyways, I hope you guys found this interesting, and we'll see you on the next one.